The White Knight and the King, the rise of Sir Duncan the Tall. The tale of Dunk and Egg had become legend long before either of them wore silk or steel. What began on dusty roads and half-empty bellies ended in marble halls and whispered prayers. But even as crowns and titles fell into place, both men remained true to the promise they had made long ago, to serve, to protect, and to remember where they came from. In The Hedge Knight and the Crown, years after their wandering days, the boy called Egg had ascended the Iron Throne as Aegon V. Targaryen. Known to history as Aegon the Unlikely, his coronation was met with surprise across the Seven Kingdoms, for no one had imagined that the bald squire of a hedge knight would one day be king. But Aegon remembered every mile of the road he had ridden at Duncan's side, every village they had saved, every lesson learned beneath the open sky. And so, when he took the crown, his first command was simple: find Sir Duncan the Tall. Wherever he rides, tell him the king requires his sword and his friendship. Dunk answered as he always had, "Aye, your grace. I'll serve as best I can." And thus the Hedge Knight became the Lord Commander of the King's Guard, protector of the king he had once called his squire. The Seven White Cloaks. Dunk's presence at court was a living reminder of humility. Where others spoke in riddles and courtesies, he spoke plainly. He stood like a tower of steel among the silks of the Red Keep, simple, honest, incorruptible. He trained squires himself, taught them how to stand, how to fight, and above all, how to keep their word. Some feared his bluntness, others admired his strength, but none ever questioned his loyalty. It was said that when Dunk took the white cloak, he wept, not from pride, but from memory. The same boy who had once slept beneath hedges now guarded the Iron Throne. In the reign of Aegon the Unlikely, King Aegon ruled with compassion rare among kings. He reduced taxes on the poor, built schools, and sought peace with Dorne, but his heart often warred with the weight of his crown. Each reform brought resistance from lords who preferred old power to new hope. Dunk stood beside him through it all, through councils and crises, through victories that felt like losses. The two men, once knight and squire, were now king and guardian. Yet in private they still spoke as they always had, with laughter, truth, and the quiet bond of two men who trusted each other completely. Here, the Prince and the Wall. In time, Aegon's reign grew darker. His eldest son, Prince Duncan the Small, defied his father's wishes to marry for love, a common-born girl known as Jenny of Oldstones. Aegon forgave him, but the court did not. Dunk alone dared to speak in the king's defense. "Your Grace," he said, "you taught me that a man's worth isn't his birth. If your son loves her truly, then perhaps he's your son indeed." Those words comforted Aegon more than any counsel